Hello, I am Arun Gidu, and I've been working for the last 30 plus years with either computer systems or supply chain computer systems or as a supply chain practitioner. In my second video, I had spoken about automating PO creation. A link to that is in the description below. That automation helps in making our internal processes more efficient. In this video, I will talk about how we can make external process, that is interaction with supplier, more efficient. A quick primer first. Third-party logistics providers or 3PL provide a whole lot of services, including transportation. Other services they could provide could be packaging for international shipment, customs clearance support, temporary or permanent warehouse storage, etc. In this discussion, we will restrict ourselves to the transportation service that the 3PL provides and refer to them as Transportation Service Provider or TSP. TSPs can help the customer locate the most cost-effective transportation options available. For example, they can provide answers to questions like, should I ship FedEx or UPS? Should the package be shipped by air or mixed mode or by road? The answers to these questions depend on the origin and destination, the weight, the customer requirements of that shipment, and of course the cost. The TSP will figuratively weigh all the attributes of the shipment and pick the most cost-effective carrier. Now let's do a quick recap on EDI. EDI stands for Electronic Data Interchange, which is the computer-to-computer exchange of business documents in a standard electronic format between supplier and customer. There are other EDI documents than the four shown here, but for most applications, these four are sufficient. PO, which is the purchase order, we will see this in detail shortly. POA, which is the purchase order acknowledgement, this is sent by the supplier in response to a PO. The important information in a POA, if fully implemented, is expected ship date for every line on the PO. Number 3, ASN, Advanced Ship Notice, contains, this is also sent by the supplier, and it contains quantity shipped for every PO line shipped, and of course the date of shipment. Remember also that the supplier does not need to ship all the lines together. So therefore, it's important to know which lines were shipped and what were the quantities in each of those lines. And the fourth one is invoice, which is payment request sent by the supplier for the lines that have been shipped. Even though EDI has been in existence since the 1960s and has gained accelerated acceptance since 1990s, even today, not all suppliers are able to implement fully these four transactions. These four transactions can fully automate most interactions between supplier and customer. Now, let me talk about the advantages of computer-to-computer exchange of these documents. One, reduced errors. Example, if we have a buyer emailing the PO to the supplier, it's very likely that the supplier has to key in the PO information into their ERP system, and this could lead to errors. Number 2, reduced lead time. Same example, buyer emailing the PO to the supplier. The buyer could be out sick, on vacation, or just plain forget, leading to increased lead times. Similarly, the person receiving the email could be sick, on vacation, or plain forget to enter the information into the ERP system, and same thing happens, which is increased lead time. And number 3, the advantage of computer to computer exchange is enhanced visibility. The POAs and the ASNs tell us that one, the PO has reached the supplier, and second, when the supplier expects to ship the product, and with an ASN, the actual ship date and the quantities. All of this makes planning the next steps easier. So while we acknowledge the benefits of computer to computer communication of these documents, the reality is that not all suppliers can fully implement these 4 documents for various reasons. I've come across this reluctance to implement quite a few times. And one way to get started on this journey is to then lean on your transportation service provider. TSPs can provide suppliers with the ability to send information that is normally transmitted via an ASN. So let us recap the journey so far. This is a sample PO from video 2 where I spoke about creating the PO automatically. The purpose of that was to make internal operations more efficient. Number 2, discussed EDI in this video, which remains the preferred method of making external operations or external communications with the supplier more efficient. Number 3, we also discussed in this video why EDI may not be possible in some scenarios. And number 4, we will shortly talk about how we can partly overcome this and get started on this journey by leaning on the TSP to provide de facto ASN. Now, ASNs are important because they let the customer know in advance which lines on a PO are being shipped, when, and in what quantities. Remember, a PO can have multiple lines with requests for multiple products, as we see on the PO here, with different required quantities for each product. And also remember that we are asking the supplier to use the carrier recommended by the website. This, if you see here, we are asking the supplier to use this website, which is basically the TSP's website. So now let us discuss the main point of this video, which is to obtain de facto ASN using your transportation service provider. So how do we do that? Step 1, we create the POs, preferably automatically, as suggested in video 2. Number 2, transmit the POs to the supplier and to the TSP. The TSP stores these POs on their system. Of course, there needs to be some protocol for making sure that the POs in the customer system and the TSP systems are in sync. Now, when the supplier is ready to ship the product, they log into the TSP's website, which is indicated on the PO. The supplier then picks the PO number and the product number from the list presented and enters ship quantity, weight, and dimensions. There could be other fields like unit of measure, temperature requirements, hazard categories, etc. that either need to be entered or confirmed, but I have not included in the illustration just to make it less cluttered. Also, if the same product has been shipped before, or we already have this info in master data, the weight and dimensions could also be pre-populated so that the supplier does not have to enter that information again. Once the supplier enters all of this information or confirms all of that information for all the POs and products that are going to be shipped that particular day, the TSP then selects the carrier and prints the bill of lading. The supplier uses the carrier listed in the bill of lading to ship the product. Now, the TSP sends the information entered by the supplier to the customer, which is the de facto ASN, since it informs the customer in advance about what products are being shipped, how many of each product is being shipped, and when it is being shipped. So in conclusion, communicating via EDI for all 4 documents is the best option. If that is not possible, then using the TSP to get the ASN is a good alternative. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below and I will respond as much as I can. Thank you.